Thank you so much, Harsha, for the introduction, and Avi and Sonam and Hariom Gandhi and Darren and Dr. KK Agarwal, Sarika, and all the partners who've made this happen. Um, to me, this is a very, very intimate and dear subject. I'm passionate about it because I personally believe that it is education. It is a lack of education and the lack of truth that gets somebody into this trap. I call drug abuse a trap because knowingly nobody goes and plans to be, say at 21 holding a gun at his father's head saying, "Give me the money or else," or like I will slit my throat, or whatever else is the dramatic um, attitude that somebody takes. Nobody does that when they start with the first the sip, the first sniff, or the first puff. It is always presented to them in a way that they miss the point, they miss the reality. It's presented to them to look like truth. That's why it's a trap. You never can spot a trap, and that's why you walk into it. So I feel very strongly that uh, we try to catch them as young as we can. We say get to them before the dealers do. But I feel the people, when somebody reaches out to educate himself or to understand, should I or should I not, the mentors, the people who are around him in his environment, his peers, his elders, or the icons, the starlets and the cinema heroes or the musicians, the artists, they usually present the falsehood. They usually give them the an idea that it's okay to be doing this. It's actually it's glamorized. There's a whole industry which glamorizes this, the use and the abuse of drugs. And I feel that when I saw this and I felt this in my life, I felt that it was very important to get the truth across to the children, to get them to look around in their environment and actually spot that when you see somebody in a drunken stupor, or you see somebody vaping or taking that stuff, is it really cool? Is it cool? Ask yourself, does it look cool when they are slurring, when they're not walking properly, when they're out of action, when they're falling down, falling in their grades, when they are missing work, they're missing work, or they are making major mistakes on the road, or the machinery that they're handling, when they are talking to their children, are they comfortable enough to hold their heads up high and say, okay, I can tell you, don't do this because I've been there and done this and it's wrong. They don't. They actually succumb to the lure of it, gifting alcohol, or even now marijuana chocolates, gifting these things, or say, sit next to me and drink with me, and all those kind of, conversations that the adults who should be guiding and leading people, their children, on the correct path, are actually themselves misled, actually themselves coming from a sense of fear. And usually we find that when we instill fear, or when we think about something through fear, we are not making long-term survival decisions. We're not making long-term healthy decisions out of fear. Fear stops you. Fear doesn't. So so when we look at it and we find that parents are afraid of their children going in that direction, so they say, "Mere samne karega, to it would be better," right? I really feel that it's very, very important to educate just about every citizen in the world, in the country, needs to be educated on the truth. And that there's something missing. And that's why I took it upon myself to reach the 1.3 billion in our country with the message. Luckily, I found Drug Free World, which gives us the most amazing, clean education, clean data, without making anybody wrong. It doesn't make anybody wrong. It just says, find out the truth for yourself. So, and I think it is the right, it's a basic right of every being to know the truth. And every child needs to know the truth. not something that is made up or, fried and marinated and created into something new, and presented to the child. So once the children or youth and people are given the truth, they can evaluate and make decisions from there. Anytime a mistake is made, it is made because there is some wrong data. There is something which was not shown or brought to to you. And that's what I feel is my mission, and that's what I want to do. And I can't do it alone. That is the first thing I realized. I cannot do it alone. And I need the participation of each and every being and each and every person in whatever sphere and walk of life, whatever status and stature, whatever sphere of influence you have, to make it happen. That's what I feel very, very strongly. Um, Before COVID also and after COVID also, I feel our health has been a primary. The generation, the current generation, is battling health issues in many, many ways. And we are confused. There is some data that is missing even in that area. We are confused. Why are we getting cancer? Why are we getting this? Why are all of these diseases, lifestyle diseases termed and things, why are they happening? And I believe even there we have some data which is withheld, which is not given to us correctly. And a lot of it comes from abusing chemicals in real life as well. But when you take it up as a habit, as a recreational thing or a medical situation, suppose I have a hip surgery and I'm given very high doses of medicine. It's good. I need that. I need that to fight and battle the pain. So I will take that medicine for the time being, like Dr. K.K. Agarwal said, under a controlled setting. But when I take it out of that setting and I start consuming it because I cannot do without it, and now my body is also responding with a condition where it needs it. It becomes the chemical that it needs to survive. My chemical balance is altered and I need that, and I take it long after the hip is healed. I am causing, a prescription drug abuse to happen in my life. So I feel that even with COVID and stuff, we need to be very careful of what we take. We don't pop in medicines just for the heck of it, thinking we are going to safeguard ourselves. Any kind of medication does bring immunity down. The natural methods of immunity are what we need to take up and keep our health as a priority. Loving your brain, like Sonam Kalra said, loving your work, like Hariom Gandhiji said, get your drugs from life, get your dopamine and your serotonin and your endorphins and everything from life. Your body is a drug producing machine. Use it to the fullest. And so that's my message to people. Of course, I do believe, that it's a battle. It's a battle, but a battle is never lost till it is lost. It's always lost in the mind first. It's lost when you say, I give up. And I want to urge everybody not to give up. There is a lot of hope, a lot of things that you can do, and a lot of data out there that you can educate yourself and make the right decisions for your life. So that's what I want to reach out to everybody. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was great. That was awesome. So we have about 900 people watching through Facebook and 100 over here. So what is there any last final message that you would like to convey to them?
For me, each and every citizen is a volunteer. Each and every citizen can impact and make a difference. So my message to everybody who's here online and has watched us, has heard us, is to take the truth out to your sphere of influence. Go out and share what you've learned and be a point and a source of information which is true. Be a source. Create good effects wherever you go. And that's my message.
Thank you so much. This is great. All right.
Usually one has seen that it's the artist, the creative person who's surrounded by people, many people. And many of them are hanger-ons for various reasons, their own reasons. But many of them, if the artist can spot and see, there are some of them who are there to damage their confidence in themselves. they will make you doubt. They will make an artist, a creator. You see that with children as well, because children are natural creators, right? They're artists.
Yeah.
And they will be made to say, oh, this didn't sound right. Oh, you make it louder, you make it higher. There's this, there's always somebody in that sphere who has got this undue influence through undercutting the confidence and the reality of the artist.
Absolutely.
And cutting the link of the artist to the art. And that is, if an artist can spot that person or that group within him, he can be safe.
I think you
add to that, Avi. See, drugs is something we have noticed in the last 4 years that we've been campaigning, that people do not have a confront to it. They, like, our t-shirts carry this very big logo, find out the truth about drugs, and drugs is written really large. So people actually move away from us when they see that. So people have this, whether it is educators, whether it is parents, whether it is many people. Right now, I feel in society, we have become so suppressed by this phenomena, and it's become so huge that it's like
talk about it.
We don't even want to talk about it. So one of the campaigns that we do when we start spreading the information is, because anything you have data on, anything you have education on, you cannot be suppressed by it. You can do something about it, right? So this is our main area, is to get it to be okay to talk. Be okay to talk about it, right? We approach the schools, but of course the schools have their own issues of reputation. If they bring in somebody talking about drugs, it's like, people will say it's happening in our area or whatever. But coming to the question that Avi asked of Mr. Gandhi, was that this is the time. I mean, I think we probably crossed that time when we had the embargo or the lockdown, where people were not, the availability was an issue. So there was a forced withdrawal that was put into place. It was a forced withdrawal. And actually society should have welcomed that, because people who were struggling had, whatever the ups and downs, withdrawal is very, very painful. It's very, very difficult to go through, but they had gone through it. Right now, the ones I actually doubt the ones who, in the name of really caring, are asking for drugs to be delivered to those people. They have been through a withdrawal. This is the time to hold on to that person and take him to the rehab. Exactly what Mr. Gandhi said. This is the time for action. Get them out of that trap, right? But instead, we've got all of these, I don't want to make everybody sound wrong, but quite a few of them who have been gunning for availability of alcohol, availability of this. And I think the advisors in the government, whether it was financial or moral or whatever else, were also in that group that we made it, it was a very good opportunity at that time. And for any parent and any educator, when you find that a child is wanting help, provide it, make it happen. Don't let reputation or what people will say come in the way at all.
Absolutely.
To answer that question also.
Okay.
So it's a good question, because teachers usually, जैसे आपने कहा कि उनके पास ये training नहीं है, when they were doing the B.Ed, they were not given the training. That is why we have a full-fledged educator program. This is an educator guide, and the whole program is available to every educator for free. Our Drug Free Girl booklets, there are 14 booklets that we give out, and we give all the material, thousands and thousands of booklets and materials, posters and DVDs. There is a DVD. We give all of it for free to any educator, and that's available. They can always contact us through our website, on our Facebook page. Sabse badi baat that I feel is that I also wanted to share, we all had gone to a school. We were invited to speak to class 8 students, because they didn't want any other group to be informed. The school and parents in some ways feel that if you're talking about the word drug, you are telling them how to get it. So there's this fear that don't even introduce the subject, so that they don't become aware of it, and that is what will lead them to drug addiction. This is absolute false information that people are carrying with them. That if you talk, like, this happened with sex education and others, where there was a lot of, people didn't want to talk about it in schools, and हमारे बच्चे अभी बहुत छोटे हैं. So we were called to this class 8 thing. And when we went there, it was a huge hall and could take 800 people, like Hariom Gandhiji said. And there were just these 20 students sitting there. So we were quite surprised because all of our volunteers are working professionals and they've taken time out during a working day to come and speak. So I was there fortunately, and we put our foot down and he said, no, we want all the children and we want all the teachers to be there. Otherwise, we are going back. We're not going to deliver and speak to the students. And luckily, then we waited about an hour and they got everybody together. So we had children from class 8 up to class 12 and all the teachers who were present. And we delivered our Truth About Drugs conversation, which is an interactive presentation that we do in schools. And a month later, I got a call from the principal, and she said that, ma'am, when you came in and started, we had these few children who were doing inhalant. They had this, the whitener, and they were putting the whitener on their white collar T-shirt, and they were coming into school in a complete, complete days. So each child had one day assigned to him when he would get the whitener. And there was a tree outside the school. They had put a little hole. They'd put the whitener there. So kids would go on one pretext or the other and put the whitener on their collar and come back. And this group was expanding. So they had about 18 children who had joined that group in class 8. And that is when the school decided, we have to take action, we have to take action. Luckily, when we spoke after that, this other students of class 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they realized what was happening. They knew, but they were ignoring it probably. They realized the importance of what we were talking, and they started pushing away those children who were into this. And see, when society also in some ways doesn't support it, it stays contained. So gradually students from that group started stopping. And by the end of the month, by the time I got a call, they said there were 2 children who were there. One is a little too far gone to help, and the other one we are working on with counselors and everybody. So de facto, by just walking into the school and giving that 1 hour conversation, having that conversation with the children, we cleaned up the school. We effectively cleaned up the school. So that is the power of education. And a teacher, an educator has the power to change lives. To be this, if a teacher is not educated herself, children will turn around and say, you don't understand, you don't know anything. Marijuana is safe, it's legal in US, it's this, it's the done thing, you don't know. But when a teacher is educated, suddenly she becomes very popular. She can speak to children and children come to her for guidance. So it's actually in your favor when you educate yourself.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We went a little bit over the time. I think that's all we're going to do for the question and answers. If any of the speakers want to say any other words before we end, this is the time. And if not, it's all good. So yeah, it was actually the most amazing webinar that I've actually, organized. So it was really, really cool to have such amazing speakers. I think having Sonam ji, Hariom ji, it just put those, icing on the cake thing. I think many people here, I can see in the WhatsApp groups, Zoom and Facebook, they love this session. I think we have rekindled the purpose of people to actually join together, join hands, come together and do something about this. It's actually an epidemic. It's a pandemic, drugs is a disease and it's a pandemic. That's a worldwide pandemic. And now with all our forces together, we're going to do something about it and actually help India and the world come out of it.
Avi, I want to correct you on one thing. At Drug Free World, one of the truths that we want to put forward is that drug addiction is not a disease. It's a habit. Like a habit. Sorry, but that's a point I wanted to make on this platform. It's a habit, and habits can be really overpowering. They can be really strong. So just remember, because when you label something a disease, the person who's already tried multiple times and maybe failed because of the drug, because of the withdrawal, because of the pressure of the peers, for whatever reason, when you term it a disease, he's then finally given it up. He said, that's part of my genetics, that's part of how I am, or it's I've been born with it. And then he will never give that shot of making a difference in his life. So I wanted to just correct that. Avi? Avi's muted. Okay. So thank you very much, Sonam, and thank you very much, Sonam. Did you want
sorry,
to add
my internet went away. So sorry. Yeah. All right. So that's all we have.
I wanted to thank Sonam for, and Hariom Gandhi ji for such a short notice and being there throughout and participating.
Your mic's gone off.
Yes, sorry. Participating. It's added value to what we are doing. We need icons and people with such inspiring vision to be part of us, collaborate with us, and make our country drug-free. That's our aim.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I thank the participants also. Sorry, go on.
No, I said thank you all. I mean, thank you for inviting me to speak to be a part of this webinar and to be able to share my thoughts with all of you.
Thank you. So any questions anybody has, you can always post them for us and we will be responding, and we will be putting it up again, the video. So Avi, you can do the housekeeping. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Just join us on the Drug Free World India Facebook page. You can see the video, the entire thing. It's Facebook live streamed. Please comment. Please get in touch with us through there. Send us a message. If you have any other questions, need any help with anything. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you.